delivering packages a lot faster than Amazon is delivering benefits. Sure, your package was delivered on time, but did you know that half of all Amazon workers haven't been able to pay the bills and are food and housing insecure? Yeah, your last minute...
Hey, my name is William Overholtzer. I'm working here at DAX5, Amazon delivery station in City of Industry. This is out in LA, greater LA County. $21.50 is just not a living wage, at all. A lot of veterans, here working for years, right, are still making $21.50, The highest I've heard people are getting paid is $24, right? That's not life-changing money, And that's why we're out here, right? We're here for life-changing money, right? Benefits, pension, right? That we don't get from this job. We get some pretty low-tier healthcare here. I know at my DSP, right? My delivery service partner that I work for, you don't qualify for healthcare until you've worked here for a year at least, but the turnover rate's so high that like 90% of people are gone within a year. We're also fighting for benefits as well, right? I know with the Teamsters, right, they've got a standard like pension and healthcare that they have for all of their members, right? And so that would be huge for us as well as lighter workload, because the workload is insane. They have us delivering, sometimes upwards of 400, 500 packages in a single day, over 200 locations, right? It adds up. It adds up, right? I read a labor lab report that our locals shared with us, with the drivers. It showed that DAX5, our station, is actually the most union-busted station in the country, right? They're spending millions on these, these union avoidance firms, right, that they call them, paying them $475 an hour, right, over $3-4 grand a day. There's captive audience meetings, right? When we first started, they didn't tell us that it was voluntary, right? My boss just got us. He just told us like, oh, there's a meeting you have to go to, right? We went in, and then the union busters are like, everyone knows this is voluntary, right? But, they've got donuts and coffee there, right? So everyone's like, okay, we'll stay. But no, like after a while, right, people just started to see through it, right? Some of these union busters are so poorly trained. There's this one guy, I want to shout him out. His name is Devin. He's so bad. Right, like people try to bring up legitimate concerns with them, right? And they come off so... unapologetically defensive of Amazon, right? And so anti-union, right? That people just saw through their, through their facade, right? And they're like trying to gaslight us, tell us, no, you're third party. You can't, there's nothing you can do, right? And they stopped doing the meetings because towards the end there, right? Like half the room would get up and leave, right? From time to time. We had that happen a couple times because they're just so rude, right? Like we would ask them legitimate questions, right? And they just wouldn't answer them. They would just gaslight us, right? And it was so obvious, what they were doing. So like out on the strike line these past few days, we've been talking to drivers. We've realized a lot of these drivers are new. They're like 2 weeks new, like 1 month new. A lot of it, I'm sure, is because this is peak season. But doesn't make sense, right? You can't get trained. You can't get some of these drivers trained quickly enough. How they've been, they've still been hiring like a week before Christmas. Like what's that about? Other than just trying to dilute numbers and trying to make up for the strike. They've been offering up like an additional $200 to drivers to take on extra days, right, during the strike, right? Just a lot of incentives going around, The weeks leading up to the strike, we were out in the parking lot talking to drivers because we realized, a lot of these drivers, they're not comfortable with these, unfamiliar, union reps, right? Talking to them, they're more comfortable with, with familiar faces, with their fellow coworkers. So we brought the conversations to them, right? Like at the end of the route, before their route, we just would do canvassing out in the parking lot, talk to them, inform them. We would get people signed up for the strike, right? Also got people, sign vote cards, for the union. But there was a lot of union busting taking place during that too. They sent out like every 30 minutes, every hour, they would send out like operations management, station management to come out and tell us like, hey, are you guys done with your route? And we would tell them yes, right? And they're like, okay, are you loitering? Are you like what's going on? We would tell them like, we're just out here talking to our coworkers, right? And then they would tell us, oh, well, you're breaking Amazon policy. You can't be loitering because you're not an Amazon employee. You're not allowed to be out here in the parking lot. Of course, like we know that's BS, right? But they would threaten us, tell us this could escalate into disciplinary action. This could lead to termination. I've had 3 times where they threatened to call the cops on me if I did not leave the property. Never had cops called on us, right? But they would always make sure to use that, right, to try and scare us off, We have this all recorded, right? Like, it was just heavy on intimidation, So all the drivers, right, the way it's ran is they have like these scorecards for all the drivers. And basically there's like these automated, automated surveillance technology that will like ding you for like braking too hard in the van, accelerating too hard, speeding right over the speed limit. And it'll just take away your score, right? And if you're really low on the leaderboard, right, like around shrinkage time, like say after the holidays, right, they'll probably let you go, right, for having a really low score. There's like a GPS on you, right, 24/7 on your van. They know where you're going. They know when you take your breaks, and they know when you make mistakes, right, all the time. The surveillance technology is just looking for like, unsafe like driving behavior, I guess, right? If you're making hard turns, if you're accelerating hard or whatever. But yeah, it's just constantly surveilling you, right? And uploading that to a cloud. There's no privacy. There's no privacy with this job, yeah. And the piss bottles are true. Yeah, the turnover rate is so insane that, most people are gone within a month. People don't stick around. They try to start you off easy with lighter workloads and then ease you into like a quote unquote normal route. But the normal routes are so insane for a lot of people, right? That, once that trial period is over and then they're hit with that first normal route, they're like, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm moving on. This is too much, And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of older folks working this job too. There's a driver who's in their 50s working here, right? They've been working here for years, and they're working a big box truck, right? They're doing large, heavy, packages, delivering to businesses, kind of like, like UPS drivers, right? They're delivering very heavy packages. I don't know how she does it, but she just like me, she supports it, right? She needs the pension, right? She needs the benefits and all that, right? So she supports it, but at the same time, her situation is so I understand because she's older, right? She doesn't have the freedom to stick her neck out like I can, right? So she supports in silence, In San Bernardino, we have the West Coast, or Amazon's biggest West Coast air hub, right? And just 3 weeks ago, 1,500 out of 1,500 warehouse workers, they got 800 signed up, right? And they're still getting more to go, right? But now that marks us having that marks us having both Amazon's biggest West Coast air hub and their biggest East Coast air hub, JFK 8, right? So, and they're both on strike now. I mean, I didn't picture myself, doing this like 6 months ago. This has all been like very, eye-opening for me, being a part of this. It's, I used to feel hopeless, right? Like, 6 months back that like nothing would change with this job, but, the Teamsters came through, started talking to them, started organizing, and I would, in just a matter of a few months, I've been able to get, can't give exact numbers, right? But we've gotten a lot of our coworkers signed up, right? A lot of our coworkers support it, right? And right, the only way you can do that is if you get organized, and it's been a lot of fun, right? Like not right. Amazon doesn't really have a friendly culture here, but ever since the union came in, right, we've been organizing, right? Like now it feels like there's a real sense of community, workers are no longer just clocking in and clocking out like mindless drones, right? Now people are hanging out now, talking to coworkers, right? Building relationships. I think that's been the best part about it.